One of Netflix's very first smash hit shows, Stranger Things, has 4 seasons, and it's concluding with its 5th season, premiering November 26, 2025. Let's take a quick 5-minute or so look back on Stranger Things, season 1 through 4. Catch you guys up. Get ready for the final war. Let's start with season 1, shall we? Season 1, arguably the best season of the entire series, and could be encapsulating everything good about the show in just that one season. So if you haven't seen season 1 before, or any of Stranger Things, I implore you, at least watch season 1. It is a masterclass in storytelling. Released July 15th, 2016, it takes place in 1983 in Hawkins, Indiana. Stranger Things begins with the disappearance of Will Byers, a young kid who vanishes after encountering a monstrous creature from a parallel dimension we learn to know as the Upside Down. His friends Mike, Lucas, and Dustin search for him and instead find 11, or L for short, who is a mysterious young girl with psychokinetic powers who escaped from the secretive Hawkins National Laboratory. As Will's mother, Joyce, becomes convinced he's communicating through lights, police Chief Jim Hopper uncovers a cover-up by the lab. The season reveals the creature, later named the Demogorgon, and the government's unethical experiments on 11, who was raised as a weapon. Hopper and Joyce rescue Will from the Upside Down, while 11 uses her powers to destroy the Demogorgon, seemingly sacrificing herself. But Will isn't the same when he returns. He's coughing up slugs. Later we find out they're little Demogorgons, hinting at future threats. Season 2, released October 27th, 2017. This takes place in 1984, Hawkins, Indiana. A year later, when Will experiences terrifying visions of the Mind Flayer, which is a massive psychic entity controlling the Upside Down. Will's episodes are more than trauma. They're signs he's slowly becoming possessed. Now, 11 is revealed to be alive, living secretly with Hopper while she learns more about her past. She discovers she has a sister, Kali, 8, get it, 8, 11, another gifted child who helps her explore her powers. The lab accidentally triggers an outbreak of demi-dogs, which are feral monsters serving the Mind Flayer. Will becomes a host, leading the creature straight to Hawkins. The climax sees 11 closing the massive gate beneath the lab, severing the Mind Flayer's connection. Hawkins returns to normal temporarily, but as the season ends, the Mind Flayer looms ominously over the upside-down version of Hawkins Middle School. Season 3. Released July 4th, 2019, it is a 1985 Hawkins, Indiana. Summer arrives and Hawkins welcomes the flashy new Starcourt Mall, which becomes the center of both teenage life and a secret Russian operation tunneling beneath the town. If season 1 is most likely the best season, season 3 is not far behind. 11 and Mike's relationship strains Hopper, while Dustin returns from science camp with a new girlfriend we learn about later in the season, and intercepts coded Russian transmissions. Teaming up with Steve and Robin, he discovers that Soviet forces are trying to reopen the gate to the Upside Down. Meanwhile, the Mind Flayer creates a grotesque flesh monster by absorbing Hawkins' residents into a biological hive. Its goal was to kill 11 and reclaim power. The season ends with a massive showdown at the Starcourt Mall. Billy, who has been possessed almost the entire season, sacrifices himself to save 11. The gate closes and Hopper is believed dead after the explosion, though a post-credit scene hints he may be alive in Russia. 11 loses her powers and the Byers family packs up, and the era of innocence in town fades with them. Season 4, split up into 2 parts. Part 1 was May 27th, 2022, and Part 2 was July 1st, 2022. Takes place a year later in 1986 in several locations and several different timelines that converge into one storyline in the end. Season 4 shifts into darker horror. A new villain emerges, Vecna, who is a humanoid monster who preys on teens by infiltrating their minds and exploiting their trauma. His victims die in shocking supernatural ways, adding a next level of horror to this season. Definitely one of the more scary seasons of the show. The season splits into 3 storylines. You have Hawkins, which is where Max, who is still grieving Billy, becomes Vecna's primary target. And then Dustin, Lucas, Steve, Nancy, and Robin come together to investigate a Hellfire Club student named Eddie and eventually find him because he's been framed for these murders that Vecna has been doing. The team discovers Vecna is actually Henry Creel, who is number 1. So you have 11, now you have number 1, the first experiment from Hawkins Lab, and the one that 11 banished to the Upside Down years ago, inadvertently creating Vecna we know in this season. California is the other timeline. This is where 11 struggles without her powers and is taken by Dr. Owens to a secret desert facility. There she relives her memories and regains her abilities, realizing she must face Vecna to save Hawkins. The third storyline is Russia. We're in Russia, where Hopper is found alive, imprisoned in a brutal Soviet camp, ended up battling Demogorgons, who are also imprisoned at the camp for experiments by the Soviets. Joyce and Murray actually have an undertaking of a wild rescue mission to save Hopper, as well as dragging along this Yuri Russian pilot with them. All the storylines in the end converge as Vecna executes his plan to break the barrier between dimensions. Max dies briefly, triggering the final gate, though 11 revives her, leaving Max in a comatose. Hawkins is left partially destroyed, with the Upside Down spilling into the real world, setting the stage for the final war. And this season is by far the most emotional as well as the darker of all 4 seasons. I'm curious to see what season 5 has to offer. Season 5, you have Volume 1, which is releasing episodes 1 through 4 on November 26, 2025. Volume 2 is releasing episodes 5 through 7, December 25th, 2025, right on Christmas. And then the season finale, really the series finale, is episode 8, December 31st, on New Year's Eve. Hope this gets you guys caught up on Stranger Things. Almost a decade of television with this show, and we kind of really grew up with these characters. It's been a lot of fun. I just rewatched the entire series, and I do highly recommend it. There's a lot of things you miss, and it's just good old-fashioned storytelling. So hope you got something out of this. Excited for season 5 to premiere on November 26, 2025. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next movie review.